Joining us now, live at the desk, former State Department Deputy Special Envoy to combat anti-Semitism and Iranian refugee Ellie Cohanim. Ellie, so nice to have you with us tonight. Lots to talk about with Iran. What do you make of the latest reporting that things just aren't getting done, despite maybe what Iran is saying about more technical talks or something?
Brian, it's good to be with you. And I think what we're seeing is a split screen from the talks today. The Iranians are painting this rosy picture about how great the talks went because it's in their best interest to drag out negotiations. They're masters at that. What I've seen since then is that Israeli media is reporting that Special Envoy Witkoff and former senior advisor to the president, Jared Kushner, are not walking away as happy. They seem to have said that they're disappointed from the talks. And we knew that going in. We knew that the United States has given the Iranians a list of demands, and I'm calling it demands on purpose because that is what we have right now. And the Iranians are very far away from that. Also, at the State of the Union, we heard President Trump say that he will not allow this regime to have a nuclear bomb. The world's greatest state sponsor of terrorism is not going to have a nuclear bomb. They seem, the Iranians, unwilling to give up their nuclear program. That is the heart of the issue. But also, I want to share that last night we heard from Secretary of State Rubio that their ballistic missile program is also deeply problematic. He even said that they seem to be developing capacity to hit the continental United States, our homeland. So these talks could not have more riding on them. And I will say, I think the Iranians are just reading the room wrong. They negotiate as if they have the cards, but they really don't. And your reporting on the military buildup right now is the best evidence of that.
Talk about Iran's financial picture, though, because during the Biden administration, Iranian oil exports, especially to China, its biggest buyer, soared. And it was billions upon billions of dollars going into Iran's coffers to fund terrorism. But under the Trump administration, especially briefly, not only has the capital flight out of Iran accelerated, but just recently that discharges of Iranian crude at Chinese ports have been falling in recent months. Export revenue is down 10% in the first half of Iran's fiscal year, which started last March. There is significant pressure, not just on oil exports, especially to China, but also on what Iran can charge for it's always a discount, but now it's at least like a $10 to $12 per barrel discount. What effect does that have on the regime's instability at this point?
Dagan, this is such an important conversation about Iranian oil. So a couple of points that you're raising. First of all is that oil has been a major revenue source, especially under the Biden administration that was not enforcing sanctions left by the previous Trump administration.
Openly to Iran.
Yes.
That they were telling them, they were trying to get them back in the JCPOA, and we're just saying, export as much as you want.
Exactly right. And then the Iranians were selling, as you mentioned, discounted oil to our leading adversary, to China. So very problematic picture for the United States. As well as you pointed out, that the Iranians were often taking renminbi. They were taking Chinese currency for those discounted oil sales, which was also a way not only of evading U.S. sanctions, but also getting around the dollar system. So very, very negative picture for the United States under the previous Biden administration. Trump came in and completely turned all of that back around. But in fact, you're right that China has been Iran's leading buyer of oil. And it is how they fill the state coffers. It's how they pay for their terror proxy activity. It's how they pay for the IRGC, the Basij militia, which has been killing Iranians on the streets, 36,000 protesters. Right. So oil is a very big part of this picture. And I would expect that we're going to continue to see the United States enforcing sanctions, ramping up sanctions as they have done even in just the past 24 hours. And also making sure that the Chinese are not getting around those sales.
Right.
Well, it's no deal so far, and President Trump says that's a big problem for Iran if they don't get to one. We got to leave it there. Ellie Cohanim, thank you so much.
Thanks,
we appreciate your expertise.
Thank you so much. And the more oil we pump as a nation,
yes,
the less power Iran has and the less money.
Totally.